G'day Darkrealmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again, and today I'm doing another one of our fun book tags. Basically this one is called the Booktrope Unpopular Opinion tag, and I've been tagged by fellow author Myk Pilgrim to provide opinions that may not be popular amongst the reading public. Okay, so please don't unsubscribe or anything like that, but this is a great chance for me to vent my literary spleen. Okay, so let's get started, Darkrealmers. And question one: a popular book or series you didn't like? Okay, well, it would have to be Stephen King's Lizzies Story. Okay, now I know Stephen King is up on a pedestal and I'm going to get, like angry mobs and all that sort of thing. But look, Darkrealmers, being a bestseller author and being good, popular and good are two different concepts, okay? You can be a popular author, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're good. Now, in Lizzies Story, Stephen King broke the cardinal rule, which, like, if you're a popular, author, it's like get stuffed. I don't have to follow the rules. But he gave us 200 pages of, show, don't tell. And as I've explained before, Darkrealmers, that's a writing principle where instead of just saying something, they went to the park, they laid down their blanket, they ate. You try and get the reader into the reading experience by saying, it was a beautiful autumn day as they laid the woolen rug down, to enjoy their, gourmet picnic lunch, whatever. Okay. Now, Stephen King didn't do that. He gave us 200 pages of Lizzie's life, at a certain point, and it was just boring, utterly boring. And at that point, I was just ready to give it all away. But I thought, no, hang in there, Michael. You may be surprised. Well, what did it for me was Lizzie begins relating how her husband has this sort of family curse or whatever. And, he says, look, you need to be careful. I have inside me, get ready for this, the bad oogie. And I just went, what the F? Okay, now, if this character had called it that as a child, fine. But this is a grown man. He has lived with this, whatever it is, for years. You would have given it an adult term. It's like nobody, you in your 20s and 30s, I need to do wheeze, okay, or I do need to go poo-poos. You just don't do that. And the bad oogie sounded so childish, so stupid, that I literally slammed the book shut, almost threw it until my mum's words popped in my head. No, you've got to respect books, even the bad ones. So I just put it on the coffee table, never finished it, okay? And I could rant on about other things I don't like about Stephen King, but I'm not going to, okay? Now, question two: a book or series that everyone else hates but you love. Well, this isn't sort of so much that people hate, it's just within my circle, people haven't read it or don't understand it. And I'm talking about Philip Pullman's his Dark Materials trilogy. It is brilliant, okay? And every time I say it to someone, they say, oh, The Golden Compass, yeah, I saw the movie. No, not the movie. Have you read the book? No. Did you know that it's a trilogy, 3 books? No. And I get so sort of frustrated because the movie was, okay, visually wonderful, but it couldn't get the nuances, the subtleties that Philip Pullman was trying to get across about, a society where religion controls, is virtually the government, and how they're doing experiments to separate children from their souls, and that in this world, souls exist outside of the body and materialise as some form of animal based on the person's personality. That was just brilliant. But of course, it just didn't come across in the movie. And in the second book, called The Subtle Knife, which was absolutely wonderful, about a boy who is in another dimension and he gets possession of this knife, which can literally rip, tear reality. And he ends up coming into another dimension, the dimension where the characters from the first book reside. And it's just wonderful. But, because people look at me strangely when I mention it, I think, okay, it may be, you just based your knowledge on the movie, and that's fine. A lot of people do that, but you really, really need to do yourself a favour, Darkrealmers, and read these books. They are brilliant. Okay? Number 3, a love triangle where the main character ended up being with someone you didn't want them to be with. Okay, well, this sort of follows on with what Myk gave in his answer. And he basically said, from Harry Potter, Hermione and Ron Granger. Well, in a similar vein, I got really pissed off that Harry Potter ended up with Ginny Weasley. Now, Ginny Weasley had this huge crush on Harry when she was a young girl, and he was already at Hogwarts. And then suddenly, at the end of everything, they're married, and it was like so neat and compact that Hermione, Ron, Harry, they're all now related by family. Isn't that wonderful? No, it's stupid, okay? And the fact that Harry had no sort of sexual history at all before this, apparently, his biggest sort of, growing up sort of thing was kissing Cho Chang. And I'm just thinking, no, sorry, JK, this is too pat. This is just far too convenient. And it smacks of happy endings and everyone gets what they want. And no, it didn't do it for me. It was the one thing about the entire Harry Potter series that really, really pissed me off. Okay. A popular book genre you hardly ever reach for. Well, that's easy. Okay, romance. Won't touch it, won't read it. Now, I'm 55, gay and single. I've had a couple of bad relationships and I'm really bitter and cynical about love, whether it be gay, straight, whatever. I see people in movies fall in love at the drop of a hat or meet at the supermarket. I go, oh, please. Okay, now at 55, I'm a grumpy old man and I'm entitled to be, okay? And like there's things like in Tales of the City, Armistead, whatever his last name was, sorry, forgive me, there was a scene where a young gay guy was at a museum and he gets picked up by someone admiring the paintings and that. And I thought, oh, yeah, of course, that happens all the time. I've lost track of how many times it happened to me here at the National Gallery of Victoria. And I just can't relate to it, okay? It's not, I'm not against happy endings. I'm not against love per se, but reading about it and these unrealistic situations, no. Sorry, and people say to me, oh, but you must read. No, I mustn't read that because people falling in love in like 300-400 pages of the trials they go through to fall in love. No, sorry, not for me. Okay, question 5, a popular or beloved character you do not like. Well, it's not that I hate him, I just think he's a bit of a knob. And sorry, hot HP fans, but for me, it's Ron Weasley. I just think he's a bit of a twat. Academically below standard and it was just some of his characteristics just irked me. Okay, so yeah. Number 6, a popular author you can't seem to get into. Well, no questions there. question about that. That's Eould James, okay, and she's the author of the 50 Shades series, and at the time, I couldn't understand all this, I didn't even know what the book was about. And my older sister said, "Oh, Michael, you must read this. It's brilliant." Okay, then, my sister's recommended it. We have different tastes, obviously, but I thought, okay. But there's some areas where we do overlap. I introduced her to the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, and she loves it. And so I get her a new book in the series every Christmas. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try this. No, not for me. And, I got up to the part where she meets, Mr. Grey or whatever his name is for the first time, and her heart's palpitating and that, and I'm going, okay, I'm not even really into the story and already I'm bored shitless, okay? I can't handle that. And then I found out later it's all about S&M and everything like that, and B&D, and I thought, no, it doesn't do it for me. Sorry, I'm, no, sorry. Okay, number 7, a book trope you're sick of seeing. Okay, sort of tying in with the romance thing, I am sick to death of alpha male billionaires, okay? For some reason, we now can't have, just ordinary blokes falling in love with ordinary blokes. They've got to be billionaires, not millionaires, because, oh no, that's too poor. They have to be billionaires, and they have to be, have their own Learjet, and they have to be successful, and they have to, and, the women fall in love with them, and, to me, it's like what's wrong with today's society. It's all about commercialism and brands and names and money equals success and everything like that. So I'm utterly sick of seeing book covers with that, or reading tweets or whatever about, she never dreamed she'd meet, a man like him, wealthy, successful. He owns, half of the world. No, I don't care. Good for you. I'm glad you've met him. Have a nice life. Fuck off. I'm sorry. And the other one I'm a little bit tired of. I don't hate it, but I'm a little bit tired of, dystopian stories with teenage heroes, okay? Now, I love dystopia, and I love the world of Divergent, The Hunger Games, all those sort of things. But it's getting to a stage where it seems like, all the adults in these novels are knobs, and, evil, and or they've given up and they just accept the status quo. But it takes a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old to come and save society, okay? And then people follow her or him or whatever. And I think we need to break out of that. We really need to get out of... Now, I can understand a young adult series is for young adults. So the main character should be, a teenager or a young adult. But maybe, an author out there could just break the mold a little bit by having a teenage character who, is full of flaws, who doesn't automatically step up to the mark and save society and try to change things within, just based on her friendships with young adults going through the same thing, okay? I just think that would be really, really good. Okay, question 8. A popular series you have no interest in reading? Well, I can answer this straight away quite easily. 50 Shades. Got no interest in 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, whatever. How much can you milk a story about a billionaire, getting whips and chains out and having a lovely old time with his girl? I mean, and people paid to see this crap at the cinema. Okay, and the fact that Eould James demanded $50 million for the book rights and got it. Well, there's hope for us all out there, okay? That's all I can say. So I've got no interest in reading it, and I'm sick to death of there's a huge thing with writing that pisses me off, that some writers see success of 50 Shades or whatever genre, and they jump on. Remember how many books we had about wizards and witches, and everyone trying to have a little piece of that Harry Potter success. And Hollywood was no different. After the success of Harry Potter, look how many books Hollywood bought the rights to, looking for the next best thing. Lemony Snicket, the Spiderwick Chronicles, all those sort of books. They were looking, and lightning never strikes twice, and so I get sick of, this is just my little rant, I just get sick of writers who think that they're going to write something similar and they're going to have this huge level of success. It doesn't work like that. And you're not being true to yourself. If you're writing for that, just for that, okay, got no problem. We all want to be financially successful. That's great. If I could have a wage from living from my writing, I'd be the happiest little person in the world. But I would not sacrifice my principles and write a genre that I wasn't really into, or that even if it was a genre I was fond of, I would not try and emulate someone else's success. That's just no. So yeah, so that's what I have no interest in seeing. Okay. Question 9. The saying goes that the book is better than the movie or series. But which movie or series did you like more than the book? Well, I'd have to say probably Divergent. Now, I enjoyed the book, and the movie was great, fantastic. But I felt the Divergent series got a little bit too, as it moved on, it got a little bit too political, a little bit too weighty, a little bit not so much, them trying to change the political system, and it had too much of that ideology behind it. Okay, but the movie was fantastic. It got the point across really well. And it was another one of those ones where, people thought they had the perfect system for society. These are your strengths, so you're this, you're that, and it wasn't. And that was really great. But as I said, the books tended to get a bit too heavy into the political thing, and like in the second and third ones, there was plots to blow up headquarters and infiltrate, and it became more like an urban spy sort of thing set in dystopian future. So I really enjoyed the Divergent series. Well, that's it. That's my questions answered. I've had a lot of fun doing this. I tried to keep it brief because, believe me, I could go on, but I don't want to, Darkrealmers. And I'd like to thank Myk for tagging me, because this was a lot of fun to do. It was, I don't often get the chance to, express my opinions about things I don't like, and I wouldn't inflict that on sort of anyone. I mean, I do the movie reviews, but that's all constructive. That's not like, oh, I hate this movie, it's crap, whatever. Okay, I have to be very sort of have my critics hat on. So thanks for that, Myk. Now, I suppose I'm meant to keep this going, so, and it's very hard because I don't know many of the authors who have their own YouTube channels, but I'm definitely going to tag my friend JB Taylor, who's a brilliant writer, and he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. If he thinks something is crap, he will say it, and that's why he is perfect for this. Another author I'd like to tag is the great Sunshine Somerville, because her Coda series is fantastic. Now, I really do promise, Sunshine, I will get into the next book. I do, I promise. I'm way behind on my reading list, and yeah, sorry about that. But I think your answers would be fascinating, based on what you write and what you like and dislike. So there you go, Dark Realmers. They're my answers. So you've learned a little bit more about what I'm into in terms of reading and writing, and what I love, what I don't like. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing another one of these tags very soon. So until then, Dark Realmers, I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.